If you're old school like me, you know Rick Thorne is the biker in black. Professional BMX rider. You'd see him in the X Games. If you're a little younger, you probably know Rick Thorne from seeing him on MTV Cribs, or alongside Vin Diesel in Triple X, or maybe one of the bad BMX guys who take over the mall in Paul Blart Mall Cop. Young adults definitely know him from the Tony Hawk game American Wasteland, starring as himself as he teaches you how to ride the bike in the game.
Hey, so kid, you think you can ride bikes? Well, check this out. I'll give you a grip of cash if you learn my tricks. That's if you're good enough. But first, you gotta learn the basics.
Here's what you might not know about Rick Thorne. If you spend any time in Hollywood, you'll see him. He seems to be everywhere all the time on his bike, flying down the sidewalks of Hollywood Boulevard, through traffic on Santa Monica and over obstacles on Sunset. He's never lost his passion for BMX. What may surprise you is how overwhelmingly positive he is. From a rough start, Rick Thorne has propelled himself through sheer will to do the things that most people can only dream about. And at first glance, you might see a rough, tattooed-up street punk who's in a loud band. But dig a little deeper, and you start to see his real message. His band's name? Good Guys in Black. His lyrics? Extremely positive and uplifting. His message to the world is his motto and mantra, which you'll find prominently tattooed on his skin. Never give up. And those three words, in a nutshell, are the essence of our guest tonight on A Shock in the Dark, as we welcome the biker in black, Rick Thorne.
You're not going to show your face.
No, I'm not.
So it's just my face.
This is A Shock in the Dark. What? I can't be anonymous anymore?
No, it's good. It's good. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I like that enthusiasm. So I just did my own introduction for you before switching over to your feed, but for anybody who doesn't know you, can you introduce yourself and tell everybody what you're all about?
Okay, cool. My name's Rick Thorne. I'm the biker in black. I ride BMX bikes. You probably see me at the X Games and stuff like that, but I also have a band, Good Guys in Black, which is a spawn of biker in black. And then I host TV shows, I do movies, I do radio, everything. I try to put myself, I do comedy. I just try to challenge myself in the most artistic way that I can. So people mostly know me from BMX, but a lot of other people know me from a lot of those other avenues of entertainment. So pretty much just do everything that I possibly can while I'm here, or try to. So yeah.
Before we get to the big question and the reason you're here, I have to say, to me, your coolest achievement is being a character in my favorite Tony Hawk game, American Wasteland. Another related awesome achievement, of course, is you've known and been friends with Tony Hawk for a long time, right?
I'm actually going down to ride with Tony tomorrow at noon. We're in a session, so yeah. So yeah, it's just homies though. You know what I mean? Like it just was one of those things where I was asked to do it, and I was honored and I was stoked, and I never thought that I would ever be in a, out of all the bike riders in the world, I'm the dude in the skate game. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool.
Okay, now the reason you're here.
Lay it on me.
Rick Thorne.
I'm ready.
Have you ever had a paranormal experience?
Yes, dude. I've had more than one.
Well, why not start with your first paranormal experience? Tell me about that.
Okay, my first experience I had. Well, I kind of always believed like energy, but like the first time that I actually like felt like I had interacted was when I lived in Beverly Hills, and I would hear like up the steps and then walking on the roof. I'd go, what is that? I thought maybe it's just an animal at night, walking on the roof or whatever. And it's just something. I just felt there was a presence. My kids used to like look in the corner when they were babies. They look in the corner of the room, and I'd be like, what are you looking at? And they'd be smiling. And I thought like maybe they're just doing like little baby, you know what I mean? Like they're just like bugging out because the baby, you know, the baby's like, ah. But I was in denial, dude, because I knew something was there. And so I was out front of my house one day, and this little old lady rolled up with like, it was her granddaughter, but her granddaughter was as old as me. And I was like, hey, can I help you guys? And she's like, I used to live in this house. Can I come in this house? And I was like, yeah, because if it was me, I'd be like, cool, I want to see where I grew up. She was, I haven't been back here since I've been 15 or something. I was like, damn. She was like 80. So I said, okay. So we're walking to the house, blah, blah, blah. And she comes into the bedroom where my daughter would stare at the corner, like, giddy. And she goes, yeah, this is the room my dad died in. And I was like, right then, I was like, I knew that flickering of the light in the other room was something, walking up them steps was something. I freaking knew it. And I was like, really? And so Carla, my ex-wife, Carla, she was like, really? And so she stayed a little bit. And then the lady had sent me a photo of her dad. She just did, because, you know, and I said, okay. And I kept it. And so after that, like the flickering went away, the lights, light flickering, and the walking up the steps at night and the walking on the roof, it kind of seemed to kind of like just kind of all go away. And I thought, well, and this is before I knew more about like ghosts or what I believe. I was like, well, maybe he came to peace and then he's okay now. That's what I thought. And so then I was like, wow. And so then unfortunately I had to lose that, let that house go, and move out. And it was like heartbreaking. And so I remember I was moving from the hills over to the valley, and I was doing stuff in my car, you know what I mean? Like the little stuff, and all the big stuff had been moved out, but I was like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, just doing these runs into my car. And this is kind of creepy because the house was a 2-level house, and it was like hardwood floors, and it was sick, dude. And like when it's empty, you could hear like, you know, feel like it's creepy, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden I hear on the roof, I was like, oh, she's giving me chills right now. I was like, yeah, I heard that in a while. That's the dude. And so I was like, whoa. And then I heard him go, the house is empty, dude, for the most part. And it's just echoing, and it's wild. And I was just like, yo, like, hey man, like, it's your house. Like, we're out of here. And I don't know if he was mad we were leaving or he didn't want us there at all. It was a trip. And so if you could visualize, like, the front door was here, you know, whatever, his door. And there was like a long staircase that went down about 12 stairs, and it looped around about another 12 stairs. So then you're down by the carport in the driveway. The door was wide open. I was carrying boxes down the front to the front, putting them in my car. The wind wasn't blowing. There was no like, you know, nothing. It was still that night. It was one of them nights where it was just like nothing. And I walked down the first set of stairs. I'm carrying boxes after I kind of like talked to him, you know, because, you know, and he slammed the door. The door slammed. Like, it didn't slam a little bit, but like it went. It was like whack, and I was like, whoa. And then I realized, like, damn, like I started doing more research, you know, about like spirits and ghosts, and like not being able to let go of things, a house or possessions or your life. And the energy doesn't die. See, I thought like, oh, he saw his daughter again. He'd been here the whole time. He's at peace with himself. He moved on to the afterlife. He went to wherever you're going to go. The reality is like, no, dude, you blew it on the window period you have to go somewhere else, and your energy stays there. And he was there all along, you know what I mean? Watching me take a shower, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And, you know what I'm saying? Because part of me kind of got like a little bit like mad, a little violated, you know, like me and my wife together intimately, and like, where's this guy at? You know what I'm saying? He's creeping around, you know? Yeah. And so the door slammed, and like, I didn't want to go back in, but I had to, because I still had stuff in there. And and it was pretty quiet for the most part. But then every now and then I'd hear on the roof again, and then I had to let it go. I said, all right, and I'm sure that dude's still there in that house. Absolutely, it's got nowhere else to go. Got nowhere else to go.
I got to know more about your theory of people missing their window to move on, because I've never heard of that. But first, do you think that your house had more potential to be haunted than, your neighbor's house or something?
Well, the thing about those hills, this is what I think, to answer your question. There's spirits all in them hills, man. If you do research and you look at the amount of deaths and overdose and suicides and murders that's happened in those hills, you have a sense of a lot of spirits floating around. You do. If you're out there at night and you're sitting out on your back porch, it feels eerie. It feels like there's something there, man. And absolutely, I think that your energy, it doesn't die. It goes into something else. And if you wait too long.
So the reason you believe in paranormal things was this one house, right? But I guess the bigger question is, why are all these people still hanging out there even though they're dead?
I know I sound like a lunatic, but I've been in many of houses, many of properties, riding abandoned pools and shit. We've experienced I've even had a gnarlier, different ghost experience than that. That was just my own personal house. And that's when I was like, I always believed, but I just lived in that house. And I lived there for 9 years or so, almost 10 years. And I was like, dude, these, and so a buddy of mine lives on the street down. I saw him not too long ago. He had just moved in the neighborhood and I'm like, dude, is your house haunted? He's like, yep. A lot of those houses are. And here's why. I'll tell you why. They can't let go of like the lifestyle or the house or where you're at or your life. And you'd love it in that canyon and you don't want to leave. And you don't want to let go. And I learned a lot, dude, from all of that and having to let that house go and stuff. So,
supposedly one thing that can keep you around is if your life ended suddenly in some unfair way and you just can't get over it. So,
yeah, I mean, right down the street, where the Manson murders happened. And then two streets down is where Sharon Tate, her boyfriend that died in the house with her, unfortunately, her ex-boyfriend, he rented a house that some other actress drowned in the pool. Like there was just I started to go through the rabbit hole of like this area of like, the Hollywood Hills and celebrities or people being murdered, or like Superman, the original Superman had supposedly committed suicide, but a lot of people, that's debatable because he had a gun with blanks and stuff, and he always used to shoot it and act like he was Superman, and so apparently that house is haunted, and that's down the street, and that's right down the street from the Manson murders, and that's right down the street from this house, and leading up through the hill, it keeps going on and on and on. And so when you are in that environment and that, at that time too, where I think that Hollywood was different. It wasn't as that, less people lived out in California. It was less developed, and it was more of a kind of exclusivity being in the hill. It still is, but like not like it was, in the hills. That I think that lifestyle and that attraction. Because even me, like I miss living there. I can't wait to move back there because that's where out of all the places I've ever lived, that's the place that I like the most. And it's that energy that it produces, and you don't want to let that energy go.
So why do you think your ghost was hanging out in your house? Same kind of deal? Couldn't let go of, the good life?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. You have an exclusivity house in Beverly Hills back in the 50s. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, them houses in the 50s were so dope. And like, you got this whole vibe going, and this kind of like, area that a lot of people wanted to be in, but, didn't know how to get there, you know what I'm saying? And so you're in it. Or it could be you pass away and you love your family and you don't want to leave. It can't just be like your own. Personally, I don't think it can't just be your own selfish reasons of like, I like this neighborhood and I can't let it go. Or I work for this house and I'm not going to let it go. I'm sure that's probably some of it. But in this lady's case, I think it was because with my house, when she came back and she said, oh, my dad died of a heart attack in this room. God loved his kids. He never got to saw his kids again. He's thinking they're going to come back home. They're going to come back home. Who are these people in my house now? She's going to come back home. And that's why I thought when she came to the house, he's like, oh, finally, after 50 years, I get to see her again. But he's still there. So, that's what I believe. And so I think that like, it could be like, if someone's murdered, obviously they're not looking, they're not looking for the life to end. So they could be like, I don't want to go. No. And that could create like, however you want to hear this, you can hear it, but that could create like a ghost that has a lot of animosity, a lot of anger, and it was very vindictive and very, very bitter. And that's where you get the mean ghost, I think if people are unfortunately murdered, I don't think they were choosing to like leave this earth. And so they weren't ready to go or let go. Like, they're probably like, no way, dude, I'm staying, so.
Aside from your neighborhood, have you ever experienced anything outside of that neighborhood? Like, when you're traveling to the X Games or to do shows or movies or whatever?
When we filmed Mall Cop, okay, in Boston, our hotel was an old prison that they converted to a friggin' hotel. Okay. And it was like the place to go. Like, I forgot the name of it. You can Google it. I forgot the name of the place, but it was an old prison that was notoriously known for punishing cruel acts upon prisoners. Okay. And my room was haunted in that when we stayed there for 6 weeks, and no one believed me. And I was still kind of like a little bit on the fence about believing it or not or whatever. And I would feel like something was in my room every night. Nothing moved. Nothing revealed itself besides just this presence of this energy, like next to my bed, sitting in the chair. And I didn't think about Googling or, just people say, this place is being haunted. They said this is an old prison. I'd be like, this place is definitely haunted. But just talking, not really knowing anything about spirits or ghosts or whatever you would call it. And that's another place that probably would have been my first encounter with, so outside of my house, where something was going on. And we were there for a while, dude. We were there for like a month and a half.
Want to give us one more?
Okay, so check this one out. My one buddy's like, hey, yo, you got to check out this house. There's this pool. We don't normally go ride pools by yourself. Usually people go with you. But sometimes if you're scouting pools and, there might be an abandoned house, you want to just check the pool and you got to see if it needs to be water taken out of it or whatever. And you just go check it out.
Just for people who don't know anything about riding a pool, that's where you go drain the water out, clean the garbage out, and ride your BMX or skateboard.
Yeah. Like basically put it in simpler terms, way a lot of people that aren't familiar would understand. Like think Dogtown, skateboarding in the pools. You're riding abandoned houses. They're going to tear the houses down. You want to ride the pool before they tear it out. Skating and BMX. There's a lot of pools that we rode in the hills because a lot of times, they get abandoned or they get sold or they get burned. Houses get burned. And so, we're not there to take anything, not there to mess with the house or tamper with anything. We just clearly, obviously, you don't ride a pool in a house that's being rebuilt. You don't want to mess with anybody's property like that, but that the house is going to be, the pool's like the surface is trashed and it's obvious they're going to tear the house down. There's even the signs in the front that say, when they're going to start construction. So, it's not as if like you're hurting anybody or damaging anybody's property that's not going to be thrown away.
You could get arrested for doing that, but it sounds like really the homeowner is getting a lot of free work.
Yeah, you spend a lot of time cleaning them out, and you spend a lot of time finding them, and you also spend a lot of time taking the risk to see if it's okay to ride, because sometimes it's not, and sometimes we've knocked on doors before and asked people, hey, listen, we see your pool needs some cleaning, but you're not going to, it's trashed, it's not taking care of it. If we clean it out, can we ride it? And sometimes people let you ride it if you clean it out for them. So, it just depends. Every situation's different. And so we went to this house. I went by myself, and it was a pretty big property. So I walked around back, and like I could clearly see through the windows that there was nothing in the house, meaning like there were 2x4s. Even the drywall was taken out. Okay. They weren't rebuilding it. It was being torn down. And so I was like, okay, cool. So I walk around the side of the house, I go around the back, and I look in the pool, and I'm like, oh, cool. Like it needs to be, some water needs to be taken out of it. You're just seeing what you need to do, shooting some photos. Figure you'll come back with some friends. And I lean in, like there's a window, and the window was busted out. And like I wanted to shoot a photo of the pool, but not me in the photo. But I wanted it to look like it was from inside the house. So what I did is I leaned in the windowsill from the outside and put my hand in over here to shoot the photo. So it looked like I was in the house, but I wasn't. And that's when I looked over and I was like, whoa. And I saw like a black silhouette just go. And I was like, and I felt this like energy. Here, I get chills again. I felt this energy like, okay. And I go, and so by living with a ghost, I'm like, yeah, I felt that energy again. So I was like, yo, I'm out. So quick photo, walk around this way. As I walk around this way, now clearly in the house, there was nothing in the house, dude. Like even the floors were torn up. Like it was like, okay, windows were broken. It was just like whatever. A radio comes on, which was weird because I didn't even think there was electricity in the house. A radio, it was like an AM radio, like you picture some like 20 song playing or 40 song. It was crazy. I was like, dude, I'm out. So I go on Instagram and I said, there's a house that has a ghost in it, blah, blah. A skater hits me up that had been to that pool. He's like, dude, I seen the ghost too. I was like, dude, everyone thinks I'm crazy. He's like, dude, we felt like someone was in the house. Watch this. We saw him. I'm like, dude, I saw him too. I had never seen anything that would be a ghost. It was like detail, like me and you. It was just like a silhouette. So like, it was like so quick that like it caught my eye, but then it was gone. And some people say like, dude, you hit your head so many times riding bikes. You're making it up. If you want to get the Ouija board out and get this thing. I'm like, no, dude, it wasn't like that, bro. I believe some of us are more intuitive to spirits than other people. And I think kids are. That's why my daughter used to look at the corner and bug out. Well, not really bug out, but just smile and shit. The dude might have been like, ah.
Anybody else that's ever riding the pool with you ever see anything?
I went there with my buddy Jeff. I told Jeff, dude, we got to drain this pool. So I went back. I actually went there 3 times. So the second time I went with Jeff, my buddy Jeff, he wants to go in the house. I ain't going in the house. So I'm in the back. He goes in, there's nothing. He goes all the way upstairs. There's nothing in the house. And he goes, hey, dude, there's nothing in the house, but in the kids' room, it's full of toys. It's weird. I was like, whoa. And then I want to mention that there was caution tape in the backyard. So it was like crime scene. You know what I'm saying? So I'm starting to put 2 and 2 together. This is before I knew whose house it was, before any of that. So I'm looking up at Jeff, and like he's in this window. And he's looking out at me. And here's the pool. And he wants to shoot a photo like I wanted to do from inside the house. But he's going to do it at the top. I don't care. Go do your thing. In this window, I see the ghost pop up. I go, Jeff, that ghost is in the window in the room next to you. And he was like, what? And Jeff believes me because we've encountered this together. I saw him again. I saw the silhouette. It was like, it was sitting there. It was like bugged out, bro. So we left. Now I did some research on the house. And by the way, the house isn't there anymore. But I'll just say this. It was a famous writer's house. And his parents had been in, before him, had been in Hollywood filming and directing. And he was a pretty popular writer. Then we went back with some friends, and they had cleaned it. My buddy Mike and them. So I went back with them to ride it. So I luckily got out of, taking the little water that was in it out. And that's when Mike threw his bike over. He's like, dude, there's someone in the house. I said, dude, that's the ghost, man. Me and Jeff saw him. I'm telling you, it's a ghost. Everyone's clowning me. making fun of me, whatever. So I said, you know who it is? And I said the dude's name. And the second I said his name, I felt this heavy ass weight on my back. Almost like it was pushing me, like a weight, so imagine a grown man jumping on your back and just hanging there, dead weight. That's what it felt like. And I couldn't even ride the pool. They go, dude, so I go, I can't ride, dude. I can't ride. I don't know what's going on. They're like, dude, what's wrong with you? Like, no, dude, I can't. I didn't ride the pool. I couldn't have the energy. It was like I felt like energy was being sucked out of me. And the second I left, I felt like I went from hunched over, to like light again. I was like, dude, that was a trip. So I started doing research. Oh, if you call upon a ghost, they will reveal themselves. That's what I did. I called him out. I called his name. He's probably an old dude. He's probably seen me all tattooed, like thinking I'm there to rob his house. For all he knows, in his mind, he's defending his house. He was trying to push me out, dude, the whole time. And didn't ride, dude. And I never went back to that place again. And we, naturally we drive by, I'm always looking for pools. Like, the house is completely gone. There's a whole nother house there. And it makes me think, like, where did that person go? Why were there kids' toys in the room? Why was there caution tape? Had to be something going on there. You know what I mean? Something went down. And it's pretty crazy. So, that experience was like my first encounter of actually feeling like a ghost attached themselves to me, in the sense of, like, because I called them out. I called upon them. I called them out. I revealed them. Didn't like it. That's what I think. I went there to ride the pool. I'm not going to waste my time. Someone seeing us or naturally you can get in trouble, but most of the time you don't. But I'm not there to just pussyfoot around. You know what I mean? I want to ride. I'm telling you, bro, I literally couldn't ride at all. I felt like I weighed 1,000 pounds, and I felt like something was just pushing me, and it was gnarly.
So that's like 3, 4, 5 people or so that actually saw this one entity, this one shadow person.
Well, Jeff, the skater, then my buddy Jeff, and then Mike, and then my other buddy Jason said someone's in the house. So they saw it. Like, I think Mike and Jason saw it, but they convinced themselves that's what they thought it really was. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, nah, this shit's made up. No, dude, you saw that. That's what it is. It is what it is. If you felt that, you felt that. You can't deny what you feel. That's why I just think that me personally, I think I'm just more in touch with that energy, not because I want to. It's not like I go somewhere like call some ghost out right now. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I walk in a place and I feel something. But can I tell you one more?
Please, I insist.
Okay, this one's crazy, dude. Okay, so we found this house, and it's it's gone. But like we Googled, and I was like, damn, it's just house, $7 million house. What? And it's like one of them like houses where you could still live in, but like, dang, man, like it was, it was empty, but it was still okay.
Again, this is for you and your friends to go ride a pool, right?
Go ride a pool. They had an empty pool there. And, naturally you just kind of like looking through the windows and seeing if the house is empty. Cause you don't want to get, shot. You know what I'm saying?
I take it this was a big mansion type thing then?
This house would probably be like, if you can visualize, maybe like a 7,000 square foot house in the hills. Crazy. Houses up here and down here is a pool. The pool was empty. So we had to walk past the house, go down. And so we're just looking through the windows. And it's completely empty. It's completely empty. But it still had like white carpet and all white and everything. And my buddy Jeff's like, hey, I'm going to shoot a photo. This is so like 50s style house. I'm going to go shoot a photo. So I said, I'll go with you. So I'm sitting down in this room. And I'm like this.
looking around the room.
You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, what's going on? And I'm like, Jeff, there's something in here. He's like, yeah? I said, yeah. So I looked on the carpet and I saw the carpet making impressions. I'm not lying to you. It was like this white carpet. I was like, Jeff, that walked out of his room. So he shoots this photo. Here's their shoot photo. That's it. We're leaving, getting ready to leave. All of a sudden, Jeff goes, oh, dude. I was like, whoa, someone sees? Oh, man, I didn't even come in here. Why'd you talk to me this? And then he goes, no, dude, that ghost just whispered in my ear. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? What'd he say? He's like, hey. I'm like, no way. I believe him because I've experienced it. I was like, dude, we left. We're like, all right, we're out of here. Oh my God. And I was like, you know what? Let's go try and talk to him. I did. We still have the video. Jeff still has the audio. I was like, hey, man, no offense. Not trying to do anything. Respect. Awesome house. We're trying to say all these things to kind of get like a reaction back. And as I'm talking to him, you see these footsteps walk down the hall away from us. It was wild. I'm telling you right now. I was like, man. So we went and rode the pool. Here's what it is. And as I'm riding the pool, I'm trying this trick because it's a pretty mellow pool. And like sometimes you can't do like all the tricks you want to do in pools. And I did this trick where you spin on the back wheel, you come back in, you spin around. And I was real jazzed about the whole encounter we just had. And I was talking about it. And I started thinking like, what if Tara's house is getting torn down? Like, where are you going to go? You're going to be a homeless ghost. You know, I was kind of talking, to be honest with you. I was totally talking. And as I spun around, I felt my bike stop, like someone had grabbed the front wheel and pushed me into the pool. I have a video of that. Actually. And I was like, dude, I just got pushed in the pool because I called him out. And I was talking. And we're at there. It could be a girl. I say guy. I say it's a guy. It could be a girl ghost. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, but I have to ask, where did you get this theory that you have a certain amount of time, a certain window after you die to go to the other side, and if you don't, you're doomed to walk the earth as a ghost forever? Honestly, like I said, I've never heard of that before.
This guy used to work on me, massage therapist, real spiritual guy. I saw him for 20 plus years, taught me how to a lot with the brain, a lot with the thinking, a lot with the body, a lot with the mind. You know, he would call upon his brother to talk to him. It's pretty crazy. And he told me that like you have a window period of either 5 to 7 days to determine what you're going to do. You know what I mean? And if you're going to let go or not. And the longer you don't let go, you can't. You're like, you know, it's just kind of weird. I don't know. Weird to think about like knocking on the door, like, hey, it's been a year. I'm cool now. I just think that there's rules to the game. And I think that if you can't let go of that house, that is really just a house.
It's interesting that you've taken these paranormal experiences and not only turned it into an instruction manual for what you do when you die, but also you've got this amazing life lesson from it. You know, how to live your life. It sounds like this is the one principle you can use during and after life.
See, the whole reason I started riding those pools was because I had to let my house go. I wasn't from Beverly Hills, but I made it there. And I had to learn to let go of things and realize they just are a house. And so you're at this, not to say don't work for it, not to say don't try your best to have those things while you're alive, but don't let them own you. You're sitting in this backyard and you're thinking like, pool was full, wife over here, kids, barbecuing, you kick back, you're in Beverly Hills or the Hollywood Hills or wherever, at a time where like so exclusive, which it still is, but you know, the vibe was different. Thinking I got life made. I got it made, man. This is it. And now look what it is. It's like the walls are gone, the 2x4 is barely holding up, the roof's trashed, the pool's flaked out, it's dried out, blah, blah, blah. It's gonna get torn out. And it's like, I had to learn a lesson of letting go because I had a hard time letting go of my house, of that house. And it could be anything, it's just not materialism. Letting go of anger towards someone, letting go of someone that you love that doesn't love you back. I'm saying that like at one point in time, we're all going to have to let go. Period. I don't care who you are, how much money you got, who you think you are, who you think you're not. It doesn't matter. At one point in time, you're gonna have to let go. And it's just what you do while you're here. Enjoy your ride, you know what I'm saying? When it's time to go, it's time to go. That's it.